Good evening and welcome to your Thursday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley here with your live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. You can see this beautiful sunset here. You can see the reflection off the clouds setting behind Doak right now. Cool 74 degrees, partly cloudy. Some slight winds out of the south-southeast. There's nothing really coming up on this radar here. There's some ground scatter here, but nothing too concerning for the next day into tonight. So tonight, again, 57 degrees. Cool. If you're going out, I suggest wearing a light hoodie. Partly cloudy, and again, some slight winds. Nothing too concerning. And tomorrow, beautiful 85 degrees. We have off from school, so get out if you can, or go study for your exams. Mostly cloudy and some slight winds, 4 miles per hour. Tonight's headlines. Will there be a weather pattern change soon? I don't know. You guys are going to find out. It's also the new Bird of the Week. Very exciting, our special segment on Thursdays. And what are thermal belts? All this and more on FSU Weather.
Yes, thank you for that, Summer. It's looking like we've got a great show planned for you guys today. It's been a pretty nice day today overall, maybe a little hotter than I would like personally, but as we will see later in the show, things should start to be cooling down now. And we're going to be taking a look at a lot of different things during this show. We've got our Bird of the Week coming up. We're going to be looking into our tropical to see if there's anything going on out there. And also lifestyle if you're planning on going out this weekend, because it is a 3-day weekend. In case you forgot, we have school off tomorrow, which is perfect. I'm super excited about that. It's been a pretty long week for me, and I'm sure it has for some other people as well. But we're going to take a look at local now. Nico, what's going on in Tallahassee?
Thank you, Tyler. Around Tallahassee, we're looking at current temperatures of 74 degrees. You can see there's a beautiful sunset behind me, behind Doak Campbell Stadium right now. We see reflections with the clouds. When you get clouds, you get these beautiful colors with the sunsets. We are talking about a little bit of a breeze, but it's not anything that's going to majorly affect your plans this evening. A few minutes ago when I looked at my graphics, the western half of the area was seeing sun, the eastern half was seeing the moon. Now we're all seeing the moon because the sun has gone down, and that's why we're talking about temperatures already starting to cool, down to 74 degrees already for this evening. It was 79 just a little bit ago. Now it's down to 74. It's cooling off quickly to start. It won't be quite as chilly as last night. Our dew points are creeping up though this week. It's now 64-degree dew point here, and we're talking about dew points in the mid-60s pretty much area-wide except for Donaldsonville where it's a little bit drier right now. This moister air is going to mean it's going to be a little bit more humid tonight and probably a little bit warmer as well. We're not seeing much in the way of heat indexes as the sun has gone down, but we did see a heat index earlier because of that added humidity today. Our temperature almanac, we hit 81, another day in the 80s. We weren't quite as close to the record as we were earlier this week, but 6 degrees off from the record, closer to the record high than the average high. Our low was around average, and obviously nowhere near the record low of 21 degrees with how warm it's been. Our winds right now, pretty calm, except for 6 miles an hour here in Tallahassee. Not really noticeable, but there is at least a slight breeze if you're going to be walking out and about tonight. Taking a look at our current radar, it's staying clear. It has been clear all week. The only thing we see is ground clutter. You're not seeing anything anywhere in the area, including the peninsula. So if you're anywhere in Florida today, it's dry. It's going to stay dry at least for tonight, but we may see some clouds. As we head into tomorrow, if you're in Alabama, you're going to see some showers, maybe a few pop-up showers to the west. Another area with pop-up showers is possible in the Florida Peninsula. So if you have plans in the peninsula tomorrow, you may see some showers. But tonight, it's going to be 59 degrees in Tallahassee, quite a bit warmer than the past few nights because of the clouds. We're not going to get radiational cooling, and it's going to be a little bit warmer, especially along the coast where the temperatures are actually going to be in the 60s tonight. Tomorrow, we could see near record highs in the mid-80s. And it's going to stay warm for the Miami game on Saturday, but then we cool off starting Sunday, Monday with clouds, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we have a chance of rain for the first time in a month, which is definitely well needed. But now I'm going to pass things off to Jaw.
Thanks, Nico, for bringing up that rain. As we will get into the reason why that rain is going to be coming in, but as we will see, we are seeing across the state of Florida, we're seeing beautiful skies as we are now approaching now into dusk. Currently, we're seeing temperatures going from 72 at Jacksonville, going all the way up to 83 in Tampa being our hot spot. Now what we're also seeing is that across South Florida, we're seeing muggier conditions compared to up here in Tallahassee and through North and Central Florida. Now, we did see some rain coming in from the coast, from going into Palm Beach and Broward County and working its way into Central South Florida. But as you saw, that rain is now starting to dissipate and won't be much of a concern. Although if you are in Central and Southern Palm Beach County, just be careful, as the roads may still be a little slick. Now, as you'll be seeing with rain, we will be seeing some rain come through the rest of the state, the rest of the Florida Peninsula. Not too much rain will be coming in. We'll be seeing some stronger rain going into Pensacola, going basically west of Panama City Beach, westward into Pensacola, and if you're heading out into southern Alabama and Louisiana, you'll see some even more rain through the rest of the weekend. And the reason why that's happening is because we will be starting to see some low pressure system start to approach its way into Florida, and we'll start to see some rain coming in. Miami, we're going to be seeing mid 80s with temperatures, sunny conditions on Saturday. With Tampa, we'll be seeing cloudy conditions all throughout the rest of the weekend, and also we'll be staying in the mid 80s like Miami as well. And that same story is going to be repeated with Orlando, although we won't really see any sun on Sunday, but we will see some cloudy conditions, which is pretty nice for considering that it's fall. And then going back up to Jacksonville, we actually dip down into we actually get cooler as we start to see a cold front starting to approach and make its way into Florida. And it won't be here until Tuesday, but we'll start to feel the effects coming in as we'll see it start to cool down a bit more. And then finally, Pensacola, we'll be seeing that rain be the big story. We'll be seeing lower temperatures compared to the rest of the state, and as a result of said rain. Tonight, we're going to be expecting lows going from 68 to Pensacola, 50 in the mid-50s in, in Jacksonville and Tallahassee, going all the way down to 77 in both Miami and Key West. And finally, for tomorrow, we'll be seeing the highs, especially 78 in Pensacola, with there being raining conditions there. But we'll be seeing mostly cloudy conditions, mostly cloudy weather overall for the rest of the state, especially being the high spot being Fort Myers at 89. Now, Summer, let's zoom out and see what's going on with the rest of the southeast.
Yes, thank you. We're going to take a little expand out here and look at the southeast. All these beautiful sunsets coming through Miami. 81 degrees, beautiful sunset again. Pretty cloudy here in Georgia and in South Carolina. Tampa as well, a lot of clouds and maybe some rain going through there shortly that we may see. 74 degrees here in Tallahassee, mostly cloudy today. Tampa and Miami, those are our hot spots down here at 80 degrees. A little cooler as you get up towards the north. Little Rock especially 53 degrees, and they're seeing some rain there, which that cold front that Josh was just talking about starting to come through. Again, pretty high dew points here, pretty moist conditions. As you move a little further north, it's a little more comfortable, and that's again from that rain coming through that's making the dew points a little lower. 6 miles per hour winds here in Tallahassee coming from the Gulf here, which is bringing us that moisture in the air. And fairly calm winds across the whole region here that you're seeing. Nothing too crazy overall. And here is this relative humidity here. You can again see a little bit of the moisture coming through off the Gulf here. Pretty dry up here through Georgia and South Carolina. And again, that cold front, which is bringing this rain to some much needed areas. They really need that rain, so hopefully it brings it for them, but not too much. That can get a little concerning. 83 degrees down here in Tampa today, and 84 in Miami, nice and warm. Here in Tallahassee, 74 degrees, fairly warm for this time of year here, really across the entire board. Pretty close to normal up here at Little Rock and Memphis in the 50s and close to the 60s. The next 48 hours, we're going to be seeing this cold front come through, which may bring some rain to our region. It may not. It's definitely going to bring escalated cloud cover to our region here and across the entire panhandle and up through Georgia and South Carolina. And again, into Friday and Saturday, it's going to be bringing a lot more rain to this region and these regions that need it, especially our far Florida panhandle counties that may need that rain. Tonight's forecast, 59 degrees in Tallahassee. If you're going out, again, a light sweater may be needed as it's going to be slightly chilly. And down in the south here, 77 degrees in Miami and in the Keys, fairly warm, so maybe a nice little walk on the beach tonight, maybe in store for them down there. Again, as you get further north, a little chillier. Tomorrow, 85 degrees on our day off, honoring our veterans for Veterans Day. 86 degrees in Tampa, and really just warm across all of Florida here that we are seeing. And again, as you move up a little farther north, it's getting a little chillier. And we're going to pass things off to Nico about the tropics.
Yes, thank you, Summer. Looking around the area at the tropics, we're not dealing with too much right now, but you got to remember it is November 9th. As long as we're still in the month of November, it is still hurricane season, so we do still have to do these tropical updates in case something does happen. Right now, we don't see any tropical activity, and we're not expecting anything to form between now and the next 48 hours, so between now and Saturday. But as you can see, there is some moisture out here. This won't be a concern to us. There's moisture in the Caribbean, and that's about it right now. And we shouldn't see this develop into much of anything, but just in case, we'll keep our eyes on it, of course. But right now, it's not looking like it will. If we look at the Eastern Pacific, you have a lot more moisture out here, but nothing too significant at the moment. But definitely, if you do have any plans in southwestern Mexico, you're going to be seeing tropical moisture with this. The main concern we have right now is the sea surface temperatures are still over 80 in the southern Gulf and even close to South Florida. So if something does form, South Florida could definitely still have something this season. And if we do get something anytime soon, the next name on the list will be Vince. We have 2 more left on this list before we would go to the supplemental names list that we have instead of the Greek alphabet. And I'm going to take things off to the desk now to continue to talk about weather, but we're going to switch the subject now to thermal belts, which is an interesting thing that I just learned about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's very interesting as well. It kind of reminds me of thermal winds, which isn't technically a wind, but it's actually a type of vertical wind shear from synoptic. But bringing it back to our main star of the show, thermal belt. So you're wondering, what is it? So essentially, it's going to be a region of warmer air, especially in mountainous, that's common in mountainous regions, where essentially it's going to be you're going to have colder air that's going to be warmer air sandwiched between colder air. And think of it that way. Think of it like in a valley, there'll be colder air at the bottom, then you'll have warmer air, and then you'll transition back out to colder air at the top.
Yeah, that's definitely something that it does happen. You get the cool air in the valley, and that's a lot of time where the coldest is, and then you get the cold air at the top. But what ends up happening is you get the air that sinks into the valley, you have warm air rising from the side of the mountain, and then you end up with your thermal belt in the middle of the mountain where it's actually going to be warmer and drier.
Yeah, so if we can, there we go. So this is a good visual of what's happening. So as Nico said, basically you're going to have colder air that's sinking into the valley, forcing the warmer air up, but because there's also colder air at the top, at the top of the mountains, that's going to stay there. So because of that, it's the warmer air that originally risen up won't be able to go any further.
Yeah, and as you can see in this graphic, you have temperatures in the valley and temperatures at the top near freezing, and temperatures 15 to 20 degrees warmer in the middle of the valley up near 50 degrees. And that's definitely something you need to notice if you're going to be living on the mountains or hiking in the mountains. You want to see what temperature you're going to be dealing with where you are.
Yeah, and also another thing to keep in mind is, and this is actually another piece of weather information, but from the valley up to the thermal belt, that's actually where we see an increase in temperatures known as the thermal inversion. So essentially you'll see this more often at night, and especially in the troposphere, but that's just something that's really fun. That's another fun thing about thermal belts. They kind of cause their own localized inversion.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see in this graphic where you're going to be dealing with those warmer temperatures. And they're going to be most common in the Rockies and the Appalachians. If you're going to be hiking in those areas or skiing, that's where you're going to be dealing with that, because they do occur in the mountains and they're based on elevation.
Yeah, but yeah, for the most part, they're going to be just hanging around over there. But speaking of like mountains and Appalachians as part of the mountain ranges across our country, we're going to bring it out to the national, which we're going to see a lot of things are happening right now. So we're actually having more spring, summer-like temperatures going around in the southeast. While if you go north, we'll see more so winter temperatures, especially 35 in Bismarck. And mainly we're seeing some, as you see, we saw dew points, we see this big transition zone. And what's happening is because there's a lot more low fronts that are located, especially going into Texas, going to Louisiana, we also see a low front from going into Georgia, heading to the Carolinas. That's going to bring in a lot more moisture and rain. So we will be seeing a lot. We'll be seeing a lot of those, especially, and we are seeing right now that we have rain going through Dallas, going into Little Rock and Memphis. So if you're in those areas, and especially flying out of those areas, you want to make sure that factor in some extra time, as there will be delays, especially in even Houston as well. So you'll be expecting rainy, more better conditions. Make sure to just take your time and also be prepared for those conditions. Also, while that rain may seem bad for those flying out, it can be good for the environments, because especially in areas with drought, especially like in Louisiana and going to parts of Texas, while some people may see the rain as a pain, so, in other ways it could be a gain, as if we can now alleviate some of those drought-like conditions. And as you'll see, we will be starting to see some rain work its way into Louisiana, which is very, very ridden with droughts at the moment, as well as going into the coastal Texas and going into the deep south. So make sure that if you're going to be over there, just take an umbrella and factor in some time and be careful. Also, we're seeing some rain working in as a result of a front that's been pushing through, and as well as like a low pressure system working its way into Western Canada as it's going over the Pacific. Now, in about 6 to 10 days, that a lot can change. But what it's showing is that we're gonna expect warmer temperatures, especially in the Midwest. So make sure if you're going to, so just keep in mind that could be what we will be looking for. But tonight, expect temperatures in the 70s for Florida, and then working our way up to 40s in the Northeast, especially with rain conditions in Boston and Seattle. And finally, tomorrow, we're going to see some rainy conditions in Washington, D.C., so factor in some time to fly out. And also, we're going to see some warmer conditions, especially in the 80s in Miami and Tallahassee. But Summer, what's our bird of the week?
Our bird of the week, the most exciting segment on Thursday edition of FSU Weather. I'm excited. I hope you all are excited for our bird of the week. It's a very special one. Once it loads, here we go. The bird of the week is the great blue heron. Yeah, I'm excited. You guys don't sound excited here, but the great blue herons are large wading birds found in the subtropical and tropical climates in North and Central America. They pretty much are near the shores and the open water. They like the wetlands as well. They really like to be near the water. And it's the largest heron native to North America, which is a pretty cool fact if you ask me. Here's that beautiful bird here soaring across Tampa. 75 degrees there, mostly clear, north 6 miles per hour. It's great flying conditions for them. I'm sure they're having a great time down there in Tampa. And today in Tampa, again here in the wetlands, it's going to be 87 degrees with the low of 67 degrees, but they're right around the record at 88 degrees, pretty high, set there in 1975, but nowhere near that record low in 1976. They'd be quite chilly down there in Tampa. They're a little above average right now for this time of year. St. Petersburg, 80 degrees, Tampa, 80 degrees, fairly warm really all around there. There's some clouds coming, there's some cloud conditions there, but overall it's just really calm conditions and just warm right now in Tampa. Current radar, nothing really coming through right now, as you can see. There's a little bit of scatter there, maybe in Winter Haven area and just north there, approaching Orlando, a little bit out at sea, but again, really nothing. However, in the future, they're going to be building up some clouds and some scattered showers maybe passing through the Tampa area and up towards Holiday and such in that area. Lots and lots of clouds through Friday, tomorrow, so those birds may be hiding out for a little bit in the rain. Friday, 81 degrees, 10% chance of rain tomorrow. Mostly cloudy there again, and really there's going to be a lot of clouds throughout the entire week and through the weekend there. 83 degrees Saturday, beautiful day. However, again, those clouds are going to be setting in from this cold front coming through. Monday is going to start to cool down a little bit, 78 degrees. That'll be nice for them out there. And again, it's really just beautiful conditions across there in Tampa, and I hope you enjoyed the bird of the week. Tyler, can you tell us a little bit about the lifestyle, what's going on around?
I sure can. Our weekend is getting started early this week, which I'm super excited about. Taking a look at some live feeds here. We got the Sportsplex. It's looking pretty clear, no storms like we've been talking about. So if you've got any intramurals planned tonight, shouldn't have any issues with the weather. Panama City is looking absolutely beautiful right now with this purple sky from the sunset. St. George Island looking a little cloudy, and Lake Bradford looking pretty nice as well. And as we look at the current temperatures around our viewing area today, everybody's having a pretty nice day around the mid to low 70s. Apalachicola getting down to 69 right now, which is pretty nice. I wish we could be feeling that, but we're not too far off with 74 here in Tallahassee. And as far as our dew points go, it looks like it's going to be pretty much around the mid 60s. Not too muggy, but these are definitely a little higher than the dew points we saw last week from that cold front that came through. But Donaldsonville is at 56, so a little lower dew points out there. And as we look at our stargazing forecast, if you're planning on going out for stargazing tonight, conditions pretty nice, fair to good. So, there might be a few clouds, but overall, should be able to get a decent look at some of the stars tonight if that's in your plans. And if you're heading home on this long 3-day weekend, heading out of Tallahassee International, things are looking pretty good. No delays, a little cloudy, but nothing that should impact your flights. And if you're heading to any of these major airports, again, you shouldn't have any issues, although it is going to be a little colder in some of these cities than it is here. We see 54 in New York, as well as Dallas-Fort Worth, and 47 in Denver. So if you're heading out there, you're definitely going to want to hop on that plane with maybe a hoodie and some pants, because it's going to be a sharp change from what you're seeing here up in Tallahassee. And looking into tomorrow here, it's gonna get a little hotter, 85. Me personally, now that we're in November, I'd like to see these temperatures drop a little bit, but we'll see that start to happen later on this week. And if you're going to walk your dog tomorrow, it should be a pretty nice day. It's going to be pretty chilly if you're heading out at 7 a.m. though, so you might want to have a hoodie for that as well, but it'll warm up as you head into the afternoon. And if you're heading to the pool tomorrow, it'll be a pretty nice day. I wouldn't head out at 9 a.m., 67 might be a little too cold, but heading into noon and 3 p.m., 80, 83, that's like perfect conditions to head out to the pool. And for the beach, pretty similar story, although looking into the morning, it's going to be a little colder, but it will go up to 78 at 11 a.m. And as far as nightlife, if you're heading out now, tonight, 58, so pack a hoodie for that as well. Now I'm going to pass things over to Summer. What are we going to be talking about?
To be talking about the local again. Very exciting. So once we're talking about the local here, we're skipping through these graphics. There we go. Our live look at the res here. It's quite dark now that our time changed, but it was beautiful before, I do promise you. It still looks nice with the water there. 74 degrees, partly cloudy, some slight winds. Current temperatures here in Tallahassee, again, 74 degrees, partly cloudy right now. Really across the entire board here. Thomasville, 70 degrees, cloudy, but as we get a little closer to the coast there, 69 degrees in Apalachicola, so that makes sense near the water again. And the dew points, fairly moist around, not terrible, not super uncomfortable like we're used to here in Florida. However, it is still quite moist for this time of year. And Tallahassee, again, some winds from the south at 6 miles per hour, and fairly calm really across the entire regions up here right now, and really everywhere. This whole entire region here right now is fairly calm winds. 59 degrees for tonight in Tallahassee, so if you're going out, again, you're really going to need jackets across the entire, if you're going out anywhere in this entire region. I know I will be going to the North Florida Fair, and I will be wearing a hoodie for sure. Again, really nothing to worry about in terms of radar for today, at least. Across really our entire region in this Big Bend County here of Florida. Future radar, there's going to be lots of clouds coming through as we are looking into the weekend. And again, this rain will be coming through from that front. We're going to start to see the effects, as Josh was talking about earlier in the show. And it's going to create just lots of clouds for us, maybe some rain. We'll see about that. But really, the most effect for us right now is looking like lots of clouds. Tomorrow, as our day off, 58 degrees, bright early in the morning. If you have a pet, your pet's going to be loving that weather when you walk them in the morning. 9 a.m., 67 degrees, and noon, it's going to be nice and hot at 80 degrees as usual, cooling down again at night. Similar story as it was today here in Tallahassee. Tomorrow's DriveCast. If you're going out for a drive or you're heading home for this long weekend, 67 in the morning, nice cool day or a nice cool morning for a drive, but as we get through the day, it's going to warm up. Volleyball tomorrow. Volleyball will be playing in New York tomorrow. It's going to be quite chilly, so luckily they'll be inside. tomorrow there in Syracuse, New York. Look at that beautiful site back there. Syracuse, New York is an absolutely beautiful place. If you ever have the chance to go there, I highly recommend it. Friday, 52 degrees there. Again, much cooler than we're used to here, as you can see, 41 degrees. Saturday and Sunday with really not a whole lot of rain. But look at that Friday morning. They're dipping down into the 30s there. That is quite chilly. Women's soccer tomorrow. Cheer on the Knowles. They play at 5 p.m. They're doing great this season. They're having a fantastic season. I highly suggest following their team if you can. 6 p.m., 73 degrees, and 8 p.m., 65 degrees. So it's going to be a beautiful night to play soccer, absolutely. And the big game of the weekend, 3 p.m. Saturday at our lovely Doak Campbell Stadium with, let's see, Johnny Wilson and Jordan Travis back there. 4 p.m., 80 degrees right after the start of our game. It's going to be nice and hot, but it will cool down for us, and we will get to experience a nice football game. Hopefully Florida State wins. That would be fantastic for us. Friday, we're looking into a calmer weekend in terms of weather, but again, it looks like it might warm up again for a little bit starting Monday at least. We're going to head over to the desk now and change things around here. So what is going on, Tyler? It looks like the conditions here are getting fairly warm, but they're gonna cool down a little bit. It looks like with this front coming through. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that's right, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I mentioned before, we're in November now, and I'm definitely ready for some fall weather, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well.
Right, yeah, that cool down is going to be nice for us here. I feel like it got cold a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago, just before Halloween, but now it got hot again, so typical Florida.
Yeah, it seems like we've kind of been stuck in these waves of cold, but we can't really get those cold temperatures to stick around quite yet, so
Right.
Hopefully we'll start to see them hang around a little longer now.
Right, I feel like they're just around the corner at this point. They're getting close. But we have a very eventful weekend here in Tallahassee. I know the North Florida Fair is in town.
Yeah, that's right. We've also got the Wakula Freedom Fest, so celebrate Veterans Day by getting out there and showing your support for our veterans and our current troops. That'll be a good time as well, a nice parade that they're putting on for them.
Right, it's absolutely going to be a great weekend, and I want to congratulate Tyler. Tyler, this is your first show. You did a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic. Everyone here is applauding you right now, so just a great show. So follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather.
Follow us like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And watch us live on YouTube like they're doing right now at youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And if you have TikTok, feel free to follow us on there. We post behind the scenes videos. So it's super cool. And I hope you all had a great Thursday and enjoyed our show.